What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitter? Hey, it's your boy Billy Ratliff here with the Volunteer Road Show. How you guys doing this morning, man? Hey, been a long weekend for me, guys. Hey, start the show off like I always do, man. Hey, great day to get better, man. Hey, great day to be alive, guys. Hey, we gotta make sure today is better than it was yesterday. Uh, was gonna have Bobby on the show, but he's trying to get his truck going and parked and everything. So I just said, him just come on, go on, and if he comes on, we'll get him on here in just a few. Oh man, I just want to go ahead and talk about the big chat that's going on this morning, man. All over Facebook, every social media, every sports platform is the last dance, man. I I still haven't really watched all of it, man. I still watch bits and pieces of it, man. I'm still where it's still like I've already seen everything they're talking about. I mean, there's some few things they're talking about that's a little juicy news or whatever, but the only thing people are still talking about this show is they still trying to compare MJ to LeBron. Well, I mean, that's not even a conversation. I mean, you got to let this show be what it is. I mean, MJ created something that you can't compare to anybody. He was basketball, almost as if he's created basketball. He's the one that changed basketball. I mean, yeah, it's a great comparison, but it's only making LeBron James' legacy even better. To be compared to the best player to ever play the game. There's a lot of players that you can compare to MJ, but hey, there's only one player, me personally, that should be compared or even thought about when it comes to the comparison of MJ, and that's my boy, Kobe Bryant. There is no one out there no better than what Kobe did. Kobe changed a lot of things. Everybody don't think he did, but I say he did and he didn't in a sense because Kobe is pretty much what MJ was. I mean, he had that killer instinct. Is what you don't see anymore when it comes to the NBA. You don't see anybody that's trying to put you to sleep, trying to kill you, trying to hurt you, trying to make you not want to play anything. They just basically trying to straight disrespect you. Now, this show, man, based on what I watched in the last dance, it basically showed how competitive MJ really was. I mean, Mike was one of a kind when it came to competition. I mean, he didn't he that's all he thought about was winning. Everything else was not even his mind. I mean, he was thinking about winning. Period. That's just something that you don't have anymore anytime. These guys today, you got I mean, just NBA is totally different. You don't have the well, you can't have the bad boy sense or the killer sense or you can't really even play defense in the NBA anymore. I mean, that's why they say it's the flopping league, which I don't understand it anymore because they said they was gonna change that stuff when they started talking about it was gonna be a flopping rule with who was it? It was what was the guy from San Antonio, Ginobili. The way he was flopping, they was calling his fault. They said there's gonna have a rule in that, but you don't see it because if they had the real flop rule, I mean, a lot of these guys in the NBA right now, they will foul out in the first quarter. Hey, and I'm about to say it, my man, LeBron. I mean, he flops a lot, but he's doing what the game is allowing him to do. James Harden, all those guys, they are doing what the game, the rules of the NBA allowed them to do, and that's what MJ did back then. I mean, he did what the rules allow him to do, and it's totally different now. Let's see, guys. Hey, give me a moment, guys. I'm trying to get Bobby in here real quick. He said he's gonna come on, so hey, bear with me 1 second here, and I'm gonna get Bobby in here real quick. So hold on, give me one moment, guys. I'm gonna switch it over here to Bobby, and I might have a little volume issues, but just give me a moment here. I'm gonna get this set up here real quick. All right, guys, I got Bobby in here. He's ready to get this show started with me too. So, Bobby, hey, like I was just talking to him about the last dance on Chicago Bulls, and that's where we was at. And like I was saying, I mean, I was telling him like I was just talking with you about who I thought compared to MJ, and that was Kobe. And I know you was talking. I should have had us talking while we was talking about, but you can go ahead and
I
continue what you
thought
were
we
saying.
was I thought we was talking live. I said you can't compare LeBron, and I said, have you ever seen a player that's been in the league 17 years that looks like LeBron?
There's no way, man. I mean, that's hard to do, man. I mean, the way that man keeps his body in shape to even attempt to continue to play ball after this many years. Typically, everybody has retired by now. I think there's only maybe one other player that still is in the NBA that's played in what how many decades? And that's Vince Carter.
AC Green, AC Green played a long time.
Vince Carter is still playing right now, Bobby. It just I can't
That's
believe he's
true.
still doing it. I mean, he's been in it
He's
for a
still in the
long.
league.
He's still in the league, Bobby.
You're kidding.
I am serious as a heart attack, man. This
I
man is
thought he retired 7, 8 years ago.
new. I think he was with the Atlanta. I think it was with Atlanta last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Golly, shows you
I
how
mean,
much I'm paying attention.
and of course he's not doing what he was doing, back in the day where he was, dunking on everybody and all that stuff. I mean, he's learned how to conserve his body and make it last a lot longer, and that's what he's been doing. So where you at right now, man?
We're in Illinois, headed down to Texas.
Oh, okay, okay.
Getting loaded here in Lincoln, Illinois, actually, just north of Springfield.
Yeah,
But
man. Let's see here.
so is the last dance? Is it over with?
It's over with, man. I'll be honest with you. I am glad it's over with, Bobby. Like the way they strung it out for what I don't know. I think it was 5 weeks. That I really don't think it was worth 5 weeks. I mean, I understand what they was doing. They knew everybody was inside. It was a great time to start it, to watch the show. They can get all the ratings and views and stuff. But I still don't think it was worth 5 weekends. I mean, that show could have been a 2 weekend, 2 Sundays. That show could have been over with.
How long was each episode?
I think it was an hour each episode, but me, I think out of all the time in it, maybe 40 minutes.
Hmm.
So
When do you think they recorded this show?
it's probably been recorded a long time ago, Bobby, because like some of the interviews, you can tell it wasn't recent interviews. The only one that I can tell looked like it was recent was probably like when they was interviewing Steve Kerr, because
Hmm.
he has like all of his Golden State stuff on, and we're talking about the championships and things like that. So I think he's the only one. Let's see. David Newcomb, he said, hey, check the chat, boy. It's a beautiful morning, my friend. Hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, they've had a great weekend, man. He said,
Yes, sir.
I thought the debate was over. Nobody on this planet compares to MJ. All right, there it is, man. I mean, not on the planet right now because he's gone. And that's Kobe Bryant, man. I'm telling you. You go watch Kobe's game and you look at MJ game. Kobe imitated MJ, and he was the exact same way on the court. If they did a last dance of the Lakers with Kobe, you see the exact same stuff. It would be identical the way he talked to the players in practice. It was the exact same stuff. You hear Kobe when he's talking to Shaquille O'Neal, it's the exact same way he was talking to all the rest of those guys, calling Shaq lazy and all that stuff. Who tells Shaq he's lazy?
I saw something on YouTube about that.
And you talking about it wasn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't even when Kobe. I mean, Kobe talking about a young Kobe. That wasn't a veteran Kobe. It was talking about a young Kobe that was talking to Shaq like that.
Well, I can't even have a conversation with anybody about the greatest player because he gets me a little mad. So I'm just gonna shut up.
Well, I mean, man, it can't be MJ. I mean, it can't be Magic Johnson, man. You know it's
Come on,
not,
man.
man. It can't, man. Magic could no, man. I don't think so, man. I mean, I like what Magic did back then, and everybody
Hey,
try to compare Magic to LeBron too, and I'm like, you can't compare
compare
those
this.
two.
Compare this. Who won a Finals MVP in his rookie season and Rookie of the Year and a championship?
Man, Bobby,
Come on, answer the question.
that's not how you
Answer the
make it that
question.
way because
Answer the question.
I mean it's true he did that, but I don't think that's how you determine who's the greatest player ever to play the game.
I don't say he's better than Michael Jordan.
Well, here
I'm just saying, as far as a basketball player, I think so many people take what they think is the greatest basketball player is their one-on-one game, their dunking, and their
mm,
offense.
well,
Not they don't take the total package of basketball IQ. And Kobe had
exactly.
a basketball IQ,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody can say that Michael Jordan had a better basketball IQ than Kobe. I don't know that they can say he had a better basketball IQ than LeBron.
Oh, I mean, Bobby, this is how I say the reason for this goat contention and competition. Why they're doing it. It's a popularity event.
Yep,
That's
it's
all it
marketing.
is. It's who
It's
was marketed the best, who still is being
yep,
marketed. MJ is the most marketed player ever in the NBA history, hands
yep,
down. You know, his shoe is still the most selling shoe ever.
yep,
And that's why the young generation say he is the greatest of all time. They're not even thinking about his game. They're seeing some of the highlights he did. They're not seeing none of the negative stuff he did. They're not seeing none of that stuff. They see more negative about LeBron than they hear positive about LeBron. And that's why
yep.
no one gives LeBron the credit that he deserves.
But 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 LeBron is in the last 10 years become more of a brand. And I wish people would realize and admit to themselves that it is marketing. It has marketing has something to do with the with factoring in the greatest basketball player ever.
Well, I believe you.
And if
I
they
most definitely.
don't admit it, then the marketing is even more genius.
Well, here, I'm going to tell you like this here. LeBron has been marketed for a very long time. I remember LeBron being marketed when he was a junior in high school. He was on
Hmm.
TV then. You had Shaq, you had all NBA players going to his basketball games already. Remember, you know how they did Zion Williams this year
Hmm.
when he was in high school?
Hmm.
LeBron was doing that way back then. They had him the exact same way. Those are two of the me personally, two of the only players that they was talking about like that the next best thing out of high school. LeBron and Zion. And LeBron, this is what I wish and that's what he's doing right now. He's letting the people do the market for him. He's doing what he's supposed to. He don't have to speak or say he's the best to ever play the game. And he always gonna give it up to Kobe and MJ every single time.
Well, listen, I want to know how much of LeBron's negativity is because he left Cleveland, went to Miami, came back to Cleveland, and left for LA.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what it is, Bobby. And he was winning.
If he would have went to Cleveland like MJ went to Chicago, Chicago wasn't a great team back when MJ went there. Cleveland wasn't a good team when LeBron went to Cleveland.
Mm-mm.
And if LeBron would have stayed at Cleveland the whole time and they'd have gotten some pieces around him, uh, would he have the negativity that he has today?
Yes,
You think so?
most definitely, Bobby. That's how sports news survive today is negativity. You don't
Yeah.
hear
And see,
any positive basketball in NBA, any NFL. You don't hear anything positive unless they have nothing to talk about. And that's
and
when they say,
here's another thing about LeBron. LeBron is in the age of social media that Mike wasn't in.
mm-hmm,
And number two, LeBron's dabbling in politics with his Twitter account, which
mm-hmm,
doesn't help his cause either.
mm-hmm. Well, but the thing about it, I mean, politics. That's another thing. I mean, I never talk about politics. I never talk about it.
Yep,
And the
me
reason
neither.
why I don't talk about it is because of what the human race have made politics become
Hmm.
overrated. Like
Yeah.
there's so many negative things I can say about politics. Like that's why I don't choose sides when it comes to politics. Anyone talk to me about politics, I just let them talk. I don't have anything to say. I just don't do it. And the problem that the world had with LeBron is what the world is having an issue with is freedom of speech.
Yeah.
If you can't take what somebody says, positive or negative or whatever, if only thing you can say when they talk out of their mouth is negativity, come on now, because there's so many negative things that other people have said that they don't bash. Like for
Yeah.
instance, all the stuff that Michael Jordan said on The Last Dance, if anybody in their right mind think that is the way you're supposed to treat your teammates, you out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
I
Man,
like
I've
it.
got to watch this. I've got to watch this
Oh,
show.
it's a good show, man. It's to me, I look at stuff. I don't care if it's anything negative or whatever. I try to find the positive things out of everything. And what I took out of the show is just Michael Jordan's competitiveness. That he just all he wanted to do was win. That's
Did
that's what I
did
took
they
out of it.
put in the show it took him a half a decade and had to wait till Larry Bird had back spasms before he got to the finals? Did they
No.
mention that?
No, I don't think I seen too much of Bird in there. The only thing I really saw of Larry Bird in the show was when Larry was coaching.
Oh, that's right, Indiana.
Yep, when he was
Hey,
coaching.
Indiana! If Indiana had a chance to win that finals,
Oh, they did, man. They
they
just
had some ball
they
players.
woke up that beast in Michael Jordan,
Yep,
and the
yep. That's where
Bulls
they
went
messed up.
hot. So that's just different, though, man. I mean, I'm just different when it comes to all that stuff, man. Like I just hate negativity. I hate it. I hate it. It sucks. Yeah, it's just. I mean, I was talking to some older people this weekend about how negativity has taken over this world. I mean, in the news and the sports world, everything. You don't see any positive news anymore. Especially with the young generation as well, because I remember when I was younger, there was always something positive on the news before they showed the negative stuff on the news.
Yeah, yeah,
There was
yeah.
always, at the World's Fair, they was having somebody had the world's largest cucumber or something. Or sort of Billy Bob has delivered a world record of 103 newspapers in one day. You don't have that anymore. I mean, only thing now you see is negative news where there's racial division or where there's someone shot somebody, where is someone has got put in jails for trading, trying to make money off their own investments and stuff. It's negative stuff. They don't have any positive stuff until they have nothing else to talk about.
Man, if there'd have been social media back in the '80s
Oh gosh.
or even the '90s.
Oh man, I couldn't even imagine.
Listen, I don't want everybody to get on me and think, well, this crazy truck driver thinks that Magic Johnson is better than Michael Jordan. All I'm saying is I'm sticking up for '80s basketball. And yeah, I know Michael Jordan played in the '80s, so chill out. I know that, but he didn't start winning right away. And '80s basketball was the greatest decade for basketball ever. Period. There was more rivalries. There was more team rivalries. Now we have individual rivals. But back then we had team rivals. People, it was like the playoffs watching a regular season game at the Forum between Boston and LA. That was the feeling that you got back in the 80s. And all I'm saying is people played basketball different in the 80s. And if I was starting a team, and it probably never would make the playoffs because I'm not basketball smart, but if I'm starting a team, I'm not picking the greatest basketball player ever for my team.
And I'm with you right there, Bobby. I mean, that's huge when it comes to basketball. I mean, because that's what they've always taught us with sports when it was more than one player on the playing the game. It was all about the team. There was no such thing as I and team. And of course, I mean, the show you hear Mike say, hey, but there's an M-E in that, you know what? You know, because
Yep.
he was, I mean, back then you had to be selfish a little bit in the NBA to create your legacy in a way because there was a lot of,
Yeah.
talent on those teams back in the day where I remember in my day, younger growing up watching NBA, I knew at least one or two players or more on every NBA team.
Mhm.
I remember
Mhm. And
everyone
they probably retired from that team.
as yes, they did. They did. I mean, you didn't see a lot of people really switching teams back then, but they did though, Bobby, because whenever it started happening right, with Michael in that time, when Dennis Rodman and all those guys started coming, like Ron Harper,
Mhm.
Tony, when they
Mhm.
went and got Tony Kukoc, this was the exact same thing that was going on that's going on now. It wasn't in the spotlight, and it wasn't to the point where everybody that was bringing over to his team was very successful. They were just good contributors. That's all it was. And that's the same thing that's going on with LeBron. It happened with Kobe, happened with Golden State. Like for instance, Kevin Durant's legacy, it should be the worst legacy of all because of what he did. He went from OKC, a great winning team already, to
Mhm.
the best team, the team that beat him. And,
Mhm.
he went over to a team that already had three Olympic medalists, right? So, I mean,
A Golden State hat in California is about as worth as much as a Cracker Jack toy. They're all back to being Laker fans now.
oh,
But
it's got to happen.
like I said earlier, if you're building a team, here's how. If I was the general manager, here's how I'm building a team. I'm gonna draft Magic Johnson because he brings the floor awareness. He makes everybody around him. I'm drafting James Worthy. Drafting Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, and I got to have a good six man coming off the bench and just an Iron Man. I got to get AC Green, and then I got to have a tall man. So I'm going with Kareem, and then I might even have me, my backup tall man, Kurt Rambis. That's how I'm building a team. You think I win any championships?
My bad. You winning, man. I mean, you got a lot of great players on that team, man. You just said a mouthful right there, man. Those teams right there gave MJ hell back in the day, man.
And when them boys get old, I'm gonna get Sam Perkins.
Ooh, hey, I forgot a big. Hey, the Perkins. Hey, old Perk boy. I forgot all about Perkins, man.
Oh yeah, he was good.
He played his part.
Then I'll get Woolridge when he's a little long in the tooth, but can still bang with him.
Gosh, man.
You think that I was reliving the '80s, wouldn't you?
Man, hey, that's a hell of a team you just spoke there, though, Bobby. I mean, hey, you pretty much start saying the whole starting five right there. And I'm quite sure you can come up with a starting five on just about every '80s team back then, or at least start off with one, two,
Oh
or three
yeah,
guys on
oh
each
yeah,
team that was playing back then, man.
absolutely. Because I hated them. That's how I remember
That's just it right there. The hate that you had for it, and you had to, and because your team would get beat by some of I mean, and every team back then wasn't good. They was all created equal in a sense until they got to the playoffs. It just changed. As you can go look at some of those Pacer teams. Go back there and look at the Pistons, the Celtics.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, man.
man. I don't know if words can describe how much I hated the Boston Celtics. I'm serious. I don't know how much you think. Okay, as a Tennessee fan, I hate Alabama or I hate Florida. I hate. Let me tell you something. Back in the '80s, I'm telling you, the Boston Celtics. They were evil. I mean, you had McHale, Robert Parrish. You had their coach KC. You had Bird. You had them all. Um, and then for a little while you had Walton as a six man. But man, I hated it. I hated and I was scared of Boston because of Larry Bird. Larry Bird could take over a game.
Mm.
And see, that's what I'm just saying. Basketball was different. Basketball was more pure in the '80s. Then the '90s came. The dunk contest started getting really, really popular. And do they even have a 3-point shooting contest anymore?
Yes, they do, but it's not like it used to be. It's totally different, man. Like it's. I guess they try to get it over with so quick. You know, I mean, the 3 point competition back then. I mean, it was competitive, man. It was just like they was competing. It was cutthroat. They was trying to kill you doing a 3 point competition.
Hey, Hey, I'm gonna say something else unpopular. I put Bird in his prime because he was a winner. He was a killer. He knew exactly what he had to do. I would put him up against Steph Curry in a 3 points winning shooting
Man,
contest
yeah, you
because
got
Bird would know exactly what he'd do. He'd nail the money balls. I don't even know if they still have the money ball. You know the strike ball.
uh,
I'm telling you, Larry Bird was a beast.
Bird
He
was a
he was
beast,
just
man.
a he was. I hated him. God, I couldn't stand Larry Bird.
Hey, wait till you watch this show, man. Every time Mike got a chance to see Bird, hey, he was on him every time. He talked bad to him every time. Cause that's what he
Uh,
did, man. He made. I mean, Bird just he was just a killer too,
he
man. He
was a
had that
winner. He was a winner.
all that's all it was
He
back
was a
then, Bobby.
basketball player.
They did anything it took to win.
They say Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in the history of
Hmm.
trash talking. He'd tell you, I'm going to have 50 tonight. Or he'd tell you, I'm going to play all left handed tonight. Or he'll tell you, hey, when timeout breaks over, I'm going to go right over here and I'm going to nail it right there in front of you, in your face. And he'd go do it.
Bobby, man, I wish you could see some of these comments on YouTube. Right?
I
I'm,
don't want to hear it.
oh man, well I'm gonna go with the last one because it caught my eye, man. And it's from No One Special, right? He said, "Catfish, your world must have come crashing down when Magic made his HIV announcement."
It did. It did. I'll never forget that day. Oh
Uh,
man, I was destroyed. I mean, I'm like, man, he's just now in his prime. What's up?
well, I told you when I sent you and Sean that picture.
Yeah, man, that
I
wasn't right.
told you, hey.
Whoever made that meme's going to hell.
And I told you, hey, I wasn't listening to nobody about the Roni. I'm only gonna listen about the Roni from Magic. He need to tell me what he did about that virus. Oh
Uh,
man, oh,
yeah,
that's
I'm just sticking up for my boy. It's nostalgia. Yeah, Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever, but I'm still starting my team with Magic Johnson. I'm just sorry because he made everybody better, and I just trying to keep his legacy alive. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to act like I
uh,
know what I'm talking about. I'm
hey,
trying to keep his like people don't realize Magic and the Showtime. Go back Google Showtime Lakers and watch the highlights.
well, you don't have to keep hope alive for Magic, man. Magic is his name and legacy is set in stone, man. I mean, you cannot talk about an assist without bringing Magic Johnson name into the play because he was one of the greatest at dishing the rock. He was a great floor general. He's probably one of the first ones that you can say that they called him a floor general.
And he was clutch,
Oh yeah, most
clutch in
definitely, man.
Boston Gardens with some 3 pointers to win
Yep,
championships.
yep, and
And the
that's what he did.
baby hook.
That's what Magic did, man. I mean, Magic, he did what you're supposed to do to win, man. I mean, he adapted his game to make sure it won. You saw whenever he had to start scoring, guess what he started using? He started using the sky hook.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
He
know,
could hit the hook
yeah,
shot
'cause,
too,
I
left
mean,
and right-handed.
you couldn't you couldn't defend the sky hook back then. I mean, you talking about a 6'9" point guard, and the majority of the players that were defending him was what 6'1", 6'2".
Hmm.
That wasn't even fair. Can you imagine Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb trying to defend Magic Johnson?
Well, I've got to go, but I'm going to leave it with the words of Michael Cooper and James Worthy. Magic knew we were open before we knew we were open.
Hmm.
That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, Magic created a lot for a lot of players today, man. Just think about Steve Nash. You know,
Yep.
I mean, white chocolate.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Man, these guys were great. I mean, because of what Magic created. I mean, they went back and started studying this game. That's what these kids need to do now. Go back and study the game of some of these players and mimic them and see how much better your game. Yeah, and that's what they're doing right now. I mean, go look at some of these kids' games that are playing right now. You think Steph Curry's shot is that great without having a coach of Steve Kerr right now?
Oh yeah.
Man, he have had some great coaches to.
Steve Kerr was a good ball player. He could
Oh
play.
my
I
gosh.
just stick it up for the '80s. That's all I'm trying to do. Yeah, Michael Jordan's the greatest, but don't sleep on them boys in the '80s. There were battles. There were war. Now there wasn't no battles in the '80s. There were wars in the '80s every single night, and that's all Catfish has got to say. And I got to go get loaded,
Well,
so
man,
I'm gonna
hey,
get out of here, bro.
let's we're gonna get out of here way because I gotta go do some stuff too, man. I actually was slacking this past weekend because somebody else in the house was slacking, so I had to slack too.
Well, you already mowed the yard. And I see. She told me that she liked to mow the yard, and then you're telling me, "Hey, I had to mow the yard." I'm like, "What's up with that?" I thought Crystal liked mowing the yard.
Man, that's why when I done told you about what people be saying to you, Bobby, it's almost like me talking to Bigfoot. Bigfoot told me that it's gonna snow tonight, so make sure you have on a jacket and a hat on. That's why I got this long sleeve on right now, because I talked to Bigfoot, Bobby.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna get on out of here. Have fun. Love everybody. We'll see you later.
All right, my man, Bobby. Hey, you take care, man. You be safe out there in that road, man.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, guys. Hey, Bobby, he came on, man. I knew he was gonna come on, man. I didn't think I know he finally got loaded and everything, unloaded, and of course, Bobby is. I don't know how you do it, man. He be on this road all these hours, all these miles, and it looked like he's actually driving today because I know he's had a student driver for some time now. But let's see. Let me go ahead and read some of the chats real quick because I haven't had a chance to, and I apologize to you guys for that. Let's see here. David Newcomb said playing basketball has nothing to do with marketing. Oh, come on, man. Hey, marketing, that is huge. That's how these kids get these big contracts, man. I mean, when they know people are watching them play basketball and they know you're gonna watch them, that's how they get these big shoe deals. How they get all these, Adidas, New Balance, like Nike, and even Jordan. You got to be somebody. Got to have a great game to be able to wear the Jordan brand. So I mean, it is. You got. I mean, basketball has a lot to do with marketing, man. Let's see. We got Michael D. Torton. He said, "Didn't Kevin Nash play for the Vols before he became Big Sexy?" I'm trying to remember, man. He said Kevin Nash. Let's see. I don't remember, man. I mean, didn't he wrestle or whatever? I think that's who. I think that's who you're talking about. Kevin Horn. Hey, how many is this the Kevin Horn that I remember back in college, man? He said, "Good morning, guys. I hope y'all are well, man." Bernice Jones, Billy. I want. I said I want you to play. You were really good. Depending on, I guess he said I watch you play. Okay, yeah. Hey, appreciate you for that. Man. I mean, I did my best when I was out there. I mean, I didn't make it past the collegiate level, but hey, I gave it all I had on the field. Didn't matter what it was. If I was hurt, I was trying to come back the next week. Let me go over and check the YouTube here, because Bobby he always try to get on me when I don't read those chats. But the one I did read, man, it just caught my eye, man, because he said Bobby was gonna be upset about him talking about Magic with the HIV announcement, and that was crazy, man. Let's see here. Kevin Story said, "What's up, man? What's going on, man? Sorry to just get into the chat, guys. I mean, I was trying to get Catfish on, and I forgot to really start watching because I knew he had to get off early. I said, no one special. He said, Vince Carter is the Georgia Blanca of basketball, man. Vince is still going, man. I just can't believe the man is still in the league. And he also said Michael Jordan would not survive in the age of social media, man. That would have been tough for him, man. I mean, just imagine, how much his life was already in the spotlight, and then just imagine if he had the microscope today that LeBron has. I mean, LeBron has the biggest microscope of all players in the NBA, I think, because every negative or bad thing he does on the court, it is highlighted. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter whatsoever. So yeah, hey, that's crazy though. I mean, yeah, Mike. I don't think. I mean, I think he would because I know he would adjust to the social media life. I mean, he would only give social media what he wants to give them, and that's what LeBron does. That's what a lot of these guys are doing. You don't typically see a lot of these NBA guys, any of these high profile athletes out in public anymore. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff in house or at their homes. They're building these houses where they can party at home and stuff now, man. And I don't blame them for that. Let's see. Maury Martell, good morning, Mr. Rattler. Mr. Catfish, good morning, Ace. No one special 24-hour news cycle feed of bad news, and that's what I said, man. That's what they do. I don't know why. I mean, I know why because that's what it sells. Let's see. Nathan Brooks, how good do you really believe this O line can be if Cade Mays is eligible? I think they can be really good if they focus on the run game. If they focus on getting this offensive line physical enough to be able to compete come this fall or whenever they open up the season, I think yes, this offensive line can be something special. You don't typically get that many great players on one offensive line at one time and not be successful. And to me, if you're not successful, I blame that on the coaching. You know, if you're an offensive line coach right now, you should be foaming from the mouth to get ready because you got a easy amount of kids that can pick up the offensive scheme, the blocking scheme a lot faster and play it at a very high level. Because right now, you got a lot of kids that played a lot of football that's coming back. And with the fact, if Cade is eligible to play, that even makes it a lot better because the Mays kids, he can be a really good one because you don't have just one Mays kids. You got both of the Mays kids. So now you got a two more great offensive linemen that can contribute. I'm not sure about the younger one. I think he had to have surgery and stuff, but I know with this pandemic, this off time, is giving a lot more time to heal. And we can see a very good offensive line from Tennessee. Because right now, Tennessee, on paper, I think has the best O line in the SEC right now. So, yes, I think this can be a very special team if all of these kids are healthy and ready to go. Because we do have the players to run behind it. You know, I guess I keep telling people it's an accident that they found Mr. Gray to run the football at the end of the season. I don't know where the kid was at the beginning of the year because we sure could have used him with that extra burst of speed when he got past those linebackers because that's what we was missing with a running back. We haven't had a running back of that caliber in a long time. And when I say a long time, I want to say, you know, I give the two kids, Kamara and what was his name, Jalen Hurd. You know, those two running backs was probably the last two that was pretty good. That gave us that extra effort from running back behind the offensive line. So this is gonna be something special, guys. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait till they actually tell us they gonna actually open this place back up for these kids to start by working out. But we'll see, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Gotta get my butt up and do me a quick walk, trying to get some of this weight back off me, cause I love being fat, which is PHAT, but I got to get some of this off me because I don't like what I see when I look in the mirror. So I got to get it off me. Until next time, guys, don't forget, to like, share this video, go over to YouTube and subscribe and hit that notification so you can get that bell notification, let you know when we're live. We have quite a few shows that we have here, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, guys, go Vols.